Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Red Cat holdings. It is time for another update, and on this chart we have been focusing on this white interpretation where we would be looking for a large leading diagonal to take place. And here we have started with the wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and now we would ideally be within our larger wave 3 to the upside. Keep in mind, since within this structure we have followed through in our yellow expectation, we now have a complete 5-wave structure, and we could be considering this to be an ABC pattern as well. The risk is certain here, and even if this is to follow through within the expectations of the white structure, we would still be looking for a substantial correction. But if this is indeed an ABC pattern, instead of forming a wave 3 in this area, we might be looking either at a larger 1-2 setup, possibly part of a larger leading diagonal, but we could be looking at the same time to an extension even to new all-time lows. Now, I don't necessarily expect this to be the case, but there is substantial risk, and this is what I want to highlight. We are looking to be within a topping area. We are looking to be within a structure that might form a top sooner rather than later, and that could see a substantial correction before looking for continuation to higher prices. And I want to identify that even if we get into our white area of support, it's not that easy with this chart, because this is not an initial 5-wave move to the upside that strongly suggests that we should be looking after a 3-wave correction for at least another 5-wave move to the upside, which is why we will need to identify within a smaller time frame the high probability structure for a more reliable position. Now, I'm not telling you necessarily to completely stay away, to not accumulate at all within this structure, because we might not even get within this wave C to the upside an initial 5-wave pattern. But I am telling you that you should consider to size accordingly, to size according to the entire risk present on this chart, because below the $1.1, we will not have high probabilities in creating here this as an ABC pattern in the larger wave 3. Now, in the smaller time frame, we did manage to identify an initial 5-wave move to the upside, which is why we did provide this highly relevant area of support for continuation to even higher prices. Yeah, we had here a wave A up, we had this area of support ever since we topped within the wave A, and we were looking for at least another 5-wave move to the upside. So we might be getting that within a smaller time frame once we actually bottom in this supposed wave B. We might not, but unless we get it, we will not have the high probability structure that would allow us to more confidently look for positions within this area. Now, even if you have a lot of confidence, I still think we should be eyeing the area of support to be reached for this overall correction in the wave B. But right now, we might actually still be able to look for another high in this structure, in this wave C, before forming a more substantial top within this wave A. I want to tell you, it's not absolutely needed. Sometimes these structures form a top sooner rather than later, but it is preferred at the moment, at least in terms of the structure that looks very, very incomplete. Now, before we move into the smaller time frame, I wanted to briefly mention our channel newsletter. You can find the sign up link in the description. You will get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you the important stocks to watch, the high probability structures to consider for the next month. Yeah, diversification is extremely important, and doing so, diversifying with high quality structures, is key to increasing your portfolio size and increasing your exposure to quality stocks and quality assets. Now, that is completely free, and if you enjoy the content and you do want to support us, you can check out our channel membership. The link for that is in the description as well, or you can click the join button and you will get access to additional content. Now, if you want the full context for the newsletter and the channel membership, you can check out our channel update video. You will get access to it by clicking the join button or going on our homepage. Now, back to the chart. Here within this structure, we have only been looking for one more high to form within this wave C, because we have been tracking this idea of an ending diagonal very, very early actually. So we had here our initial 5-wave move to the upside, we had our correction, But then we didn't manage to follow through within a wave 3. We got another 5-wave move to the upside. So we have been considering that possibly this could have worked out as a double 1-2-1-2 setup. The retracement in this supposed second wave 2 was much deeper than ideal, and we have already started focusing on an ending diagonal to form within this area. We had here another potential 1-2 setup, but it was already in a difficult place to track for such a structure, and we were looking, in the end, within this smaller time frame for a 5-wave move to the upside to unfold as an ending diagonal instead, where we had a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and we were looking for a third wave to unfold within this area, where now all we really need for a top to be in place is to complete a wave 4 correction and extend in a 5th wave. Now, what do we expect of this 5th wave? And we do have here this area of support for our wave 4 correction that goes down to the $9.9 level. Below that, we would not be able to reliably track continuation to higher prices. It would be our signal that this structure would become unreliable, and it's not that it could not continue to higher prices. I could be tracking this theoretically as a larger ABC structure within a wave 1. Now, that would have kind of overwhelmingly bullish implications. It could even be that this is a 1-2 setup, this is an ABC structure forming to the upside, but those will not be high probability patterns. We will have difficulties trusting this structure unless we form a more reliable pattern within a smaller time frame that would strongly suggest we should expect continuation to higher prices. So for us, the $9.9 level is actually very important that we hold, and that is what we are looking for a 5th wave to form against. Now, what do we expect within this 5th wave? Well, it's within an ending diagonal, so we are only looking for an ABC pattern to occur within this area to form a more substantial top to have our count full, yeah? Similar with what we did in the wave 1 ABC structure here, similar with what we did in the wave 3 ABC structure here. Now, the pattern within this area already doesn't look ideal. So in the previous video, we have even been looking for a potential initial 5-wave move to the downside to occur within this area. We had pushed into our last level of resistance for a potential wave 4 at the $14.2 level. And we were considering that if we form here an ABC structure, because we are tracking this as a leading diagonal, if we form here an ABC structure within this 5th wave, even if we don't break the area of support, after a 3-wave correction, we should be prepared for this to actually happen. Now, I want to reinforce, this does not guarantee that we will not see higher prices. This structure, to the upside that we expect to be a wave C, remains still incomplete. So, I'm not telling you that we are not able to build here even a larger ABC structure that would allow us to look for higher prices afterwards. It would just need to prove itself once again for us to have confidence in the probabilities for continuation to these higher prices. For example, if we form, so let's say we complete here a larger ABC structure and we even break below the area of support. If we form an initial 5-wave move to the upside, that could be our signal for something more bullish to be going on. We will be, of course, tracking a potential 1-2 setup within a larger wave C, but we are watching the key levels. We don't want to necessarily be caught in a position below the last level of support in the off chance that this wave A might have already formed the top, and we would already be looking for our large wave B correction, for which the area of support really only starts at the $4.7 level. It's definitely a strong level, we have structural support as well here, but it's still very far away from current prices. So, right now I'm focusing here on this 5th wave. It seems likely to unfold at this point, although no guarantees because we are only looking for an ABC pattern to the upside. And in the previous video, we have been looking for a potential initial 5-wave move to the upside as well, but the break below the $12.2 level was our signal that it was likely not going to happen. Now, what can we even really track for continuation to higher prices at this point? Well, we could theoretically be looking for this to be a wave A, yeah, probably something like that, and we would have a wave B correction, but even then, the area of support would be broken. This is very strongly suggesting to us that this wave to the downside is going to form, is going to take us to lower prices. So I won't even be tracking an internal area of support within this structure. I will instead focus on this wave to the downside building what could be here a larger ABC structure, so we will have internal levels of resistance, and the invalidation for direct continuation to lower prices will have to be the beginning of this fifth wave to the downside, but the area of resistance we would be tracking that would already shift the probabilities if broken is up to the $13.5. Yeah, we are watching here this area that starts at the $12.2 and goes all the way up to the 78.6% retracement at the $13.5. Now, within what we have so far formed in this extension to the downside, we might have already built our initial wave A in a leading diagonal, and we could be looking for a reversal in a wave B. I would not assume personally that a wave A bottom is already in place, but I would not track an extension internally at the same time. If we form another low within a wave A, we would need to adjust our area of resistance, but this is the main area I would be focusing on anyway. This is the area that would provide me the level that needs to be broken for a signal that a more substantial bottom would be in place, and for me to look for a larger ABC structure, yeah? Because remember, if we build here this fifth wave, we should be prepared for at least another 5-wave move to the downside after a 3-wave correction into our area of resistance. So, to be completely clear, other interpretations, other structures are possible. I'm not even going to talk about the extension of the wave A once again. Very, very plausible. We are still consolidating at very low levels. Even this, as a fifth wave, might form an ABC structure within this area. But I wanted to highlight the possibility of a formation in a more direct fashion of a wave C. So we could be looking even potentially at a wave C to form within this area, where this might instead build a 1-2 setup. Does it need to be that way? No, it's just for context that this is no guarantee that we will build an ABC structure and we will hold this area of support doing so. But with all interpretations, this is the most relevant area of resistance that I could be tracking at the moment. This is what would tell me, especially if broken in a direct fashion, that we would have a chance of actually holding this previous wave 4 low, never mind the internal structure, because those are within very small time frames, those do get distortions. And for now, there really isn't much else to add. As a quick recap, the structure to the upside within this wave C in yellow does look very incomplete, but mind the context. We are looking for a fifth wave within a wave C, within a larger fifth wave, within a diagonal structure, yeah, nonetheless. So the opportunity is there for this fifth wave to take us still to higher prices, but it is in such a late stage of this uptrend that we might not necessarily get it. We might form a more substantial top sooner rather than later, and we might even need to classify that as a failure. But for now, we are still focusing on higher prices, we are still holding our area of support, and these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.